This is Noah Nabuo, number 74 from the Yellow Jackets football team, and you're listening to Inside the Hive.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Inside the Hive. The winter season has now started and the fall season is basically in the books. With a break from home events, we're starting to get a little bit antsy, so we'll be talking with some basketball, and we'll also be closing up some fall sports. Speaking of that, my first guest, that's right, guest, is head cross-country coach Brian Medigovich and cross-country All-American athlete Zia Moore-Robinson. How was the trip?
Yeah, I think it was an awesome trip. It's the course I've been out to a couple years ago. The weather, I think, for Florida this time of the year was pretty ideal. It was humid, but it was, I think it was a great trip overall for sure. Kind of went there with one thing in mind, to at least be All-American, and we definitely did that.
I thought it was a pretty good first trip to Florida for myself. I agree, the weather was pretty with a little more humid than I'm used to. The ground was a little more spongy than I'm used to, too, but it was a really good trip.
Okay, so, with how humid it was, what was it like in that change of pace? Because, you've been training here. We talked about that in your last interview. And it's hard to kind of make up that humidity and try to train in that. So did it kind of hit you like a freight truck?
Not really. I mean, I just felt sticky all the time, but our race was pretty early in the morning at 8:30, so it really wasn't too bad. Since we were there like a day or so before, I think I kind of adjusted to it pretty well. When we were getting ready for the trip, I was wearing long sleeves on like the warmer days, kind of to simulate like heat, and I think that kind of prepared me pretty well.
That's good. So the course itself, what was the terrain like?
So there was a pretty big hill right at the beginning. It was a flat start and then a nice kind of gradual steep hill, and then it was downhill for a while, and then it was a little uphill, and it was just 1.5 laps with the downhill finish, which thank goodness that kind of saved me. But yeah, just kind of spongy and a little muddy in some parts. Pretty wide course for around 200 and something runners, so it's a pretty good course.
Awesome. So when you're saying spongy, is that like just harder to run in, or what would you explain to a person like me who doesn't really know how to run?
I would probably describe it as almost running in the sand, but you kind of get stuck a little more. It's just a little more difficult, especially when you're going uphill. You kind of slide a little bit, but we changed my spikes, so I had some bigger spikes in the front and then some smaller ones in the back, and I think that definitely helped with the turns and just the sponginess.
Okay. So, Coach, when you were going into this event, I guess, what were you trying to help Zio see as far as, you come up, you see this big hill, that's the biggest challenge is right at the start. So what do you do to help her kind of focus on the rest of the meet?
Yeah, so with being kind of a start all uphill in the beginning, you're going to be more tired than you normally are in the first bit of the race. Usually it takes to 3 to 4K before you're really starting to feel exhausted. So being a national meet always goes out faster, but having a hill right in the front, it's kind of preparing to be okay with being exhausted a little bit earlier on than we're normally used to. And she did very well with that, I think. Everyone was a little bit tired early on in the race, I think, on both sides, men and women. It's just something, embracing it. Everyone has to go up the same hill, and so no one unfortunately gets to go around it or anything like that. So having to go up it, you kind of you don't have to make giant moves going up the hills. Usually it's better to make your moves down the hill. You could pick up more time in general and pass more people without trying as hard. But you just have to kind of stay in contention kind of going up the hill.
Gotcha. So, Zio, you finished 22nd out of 250, and that is a huge accomplishment. And so we talked about the training leading up to this point. How far did you push yourself? Because you're up with those packs that are really pushing really hard. So what was it like to be up with them at the national meet?
Well, I mean, it was kind of nice because I kind of knew the girls that I was around, or like knew who they were. So I had a nice idea, and with like coach and my family and Matt counting and telling me where I was, like at all points of the race, that was very helpful too. It's kind of a nice little confidence boost. I mean, some people had good days, some people had really bad days. Mine was pretty good, I would say. Felt good, I guess.
Good. So, Coach, you mentioned that you were there a couple years ago, and that was when you were coaching with Shadron. Is that correct?
Yes, yep.
Okay. But that's not your first time in Florida, correct?
Yeah, so as an athlete, I guess, my very first national meet in cross country was also in Florida, just north of that area, and that was also my first individual All-American, very similar weather, same time of the year, so I've had some experience as an athlete, the same boat where, I believe I finished about exactly the same spot, 22nd, so I guess in a way I had experience of to that realm of kind of how that race. Our course was a little bit flatter back then, but it was I have some definitely experience from that, and other national meets for outdoors have been over there in the last 5 or 6 years.
So with it being Florida, we talked about you wanting to see an alligator. Did you get to do that?
No, I didn't get to see an alligator, unfortunately, but we did, with our kind of day after the race, we went over to this power plant where the manatees gather, so we just saw some manatees, and then just, some fish over there, and I did see, 4 pigs on the side of the road. I don't know if they were wild hogs or not, but it counts.
Hey, they're wild animals. I remember I was in Missouri once, and I was like, my trip to Missouri is not complete until I see a possum, because I've never seen one in my life. And, of course, on my way out, I think it was the last stretch of road, there was a dead possum in the road. And I was like, doesn't matter if it's dead or alive, it still counts. So now that you didn't see one in Florida, are you going to go to Reptile Gardens to see one?
Oh, maybe. I mean, I kind of have a lot of free time right now with my break, but
there you go.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
No, we were actually joking around. We were thinking about calling up Reptile Gardens and seeing if they would bring an alligator by for you to hold while you did the interview, but just ran out of time to plan that out.
She checked off most of the things on the list. She saw everything she wanted to see, minus the alligator, finished the place she wanted to around the race. Just next time, we'll have to experience the last thing, which is hopefully we'll find an alligator there. It's a little tricky sometimes. Sometimes they could be out on the course, on golf courses. As some golfers have known in the past, you see them on TV and stuff coming out. So luckily we didn't have to deal with that. That would have made her heart rate would have gone up a little too high early on. So we avoided that one.
Yeah, that would not be a fun trip. But I did see a video. There was a kid that was sitting in a class, and he was looking out his window, and he started recording, and there was just a person dragging an alligator out of the, down the hallway to get it out of the building, because apparently an alligator somehow got into the building. And then it made me reminisce. I actually did the same thing, but mine was a garter snake in a young center instead of anything else, so no, not near as cool.
Close enough, yeah.
Well, Zio, congratulations. All-American, 22nd in the nation. That is fantastic. We couldn't be more proud here at Black Hills State University. And Coach, great job. You're doing very well with the cross-country team. And honestly, we are very, very excited with the results and what it means for, indoor track and field. And Zio, are you going to be in any events during the indoor track and field season?
Yeah, I still have a season of indoor track, so yep, I'll be here.
Alrighty, well, we look forward to seeing you then. Well, that was Coach Brian Medigovich and Ziomara Robinson. We'll be back right after this.
Your loved ones deserve the utmost comfort when visiting Spearfish. If you're looking for the perfect place to get the family together, the Spearfish Holiday Inn and Convention Center has the most updated and comfortable rooms in town. Make your reservations today at the Spearfish Holiday Inn and Convention Center.
Welcome back to Inside the Hive. I'm joined now with Coach Nori all the way from Hawaii. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great.
Perfect. So, first off, what's the weather like down there?
Oh, it's paradise. It's around 80 degrees and no wind, sun's shining, and birds are chirping, the flowers are in full bloom, and the smells and everything else. It's pretty incredible, actually. So
I guess the bigger question is, are you coming back?
Well, yeah, if they take me, I guess we'll kind of we definitely are. Home is home, and but we're going to take advantage of this and enjoy this while we can.
Perfect. So now that you're down there, moving into the game right after Thanksgiving, what are you kind of expecting? What's it going to be like playing down in Hawaii?
Well, it's a great opportunity for us to kind of, get to grow as a team and get to know each other. We're doing a lot of exciting things, fun things. It's a trip of a lifetime for us. And so we're just embracing it, enjoying every moment. On the court, this is something, we've had a heck of a time getting here. We had over a 24-hour delay. We had to spend the night in the airport. But we had a very lively practice. And we're playing two teams that are, in the top 20 in the country. And, it's just a chance for us to kind of continue to grow and learn from each other.
Absolutely, Coach. And, you just mentioned that they're in the top 20. Yeah, they're no slouches. So I guess as far as your game plan, is there anything that you had to change as far as your playing style, or is it going to somewhat remain the same, or anything you had to keep an eye on?
Well, we have a fairly, new group when we got done, playing last weekend at Wayne and Sioux Falls, and I thought we played 7 quarters of good ball. I feel like we had one quarter where we just kind of, I felt like the fatigue got the best of us, and so. We're just going to continue to watch film and pick apart some of the things we need to work on. But defense has been our backbone, and so we got to take care of that first. I think you can be in a game against anyone as long as you can defend. The balls the shots are going to start falling. Again, we're just still trying to, learn from each other, get more familiar on the court with each other. We're working on that and the consistency of that, but it definitely takes time. And that's why this trip has just been amazing. It's something that we're gonna grow from.
Perfect. Well, Coach, we won't take up any more of your time because I know you're excited. Right now you're at Pearl Harbor, is that correct?
Yeah, we are. And we're just waiting to get on the USS Arizona and kind of, this is incredible. So we're just kind of embracing this. So getting ready for that.
Well, perfect, Coach. Well, thank you very much, and we wish you the best of luck, and we're going to be excited to see you come back, and make sure to take lots of pictures.
Yeah, we'll do that. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Coach.
Heard through word of mouth that Joe and Karen were looking at retiring, and my wife and I looked into it and decided we wanted to do something different. I knew the business would work by visiting with Joe and Karen, looking at things, but I needed a bank. I went and visited with Pioneer Bank and set it up the way we wanted, and everything worked. So they've been great. The rest is history. Here I am. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
And welcome back to Inside the Hive. We're here with Riley Baker, our sports information director. Riley, how you doing?
I'm good, Colton. Thank you.
Awesome. It's great to have you on the show. Not a whole lot of people know all the back, and ins and outs and the behind-the-scenes look. And that's kind of what we're hoping for from Riley here. He handles all of our statistics for each game. He handles all of our website edits, oversees all of our press releases. Basically, he is a man of all trades. Riley, what's it like on game day for you? Can you take us through an average game day, let's say for basketball, since we have that coming up?
Yeah, I guess, taking basketball as an example, I guess just starting from the beginning, probably get there 2-3 hours before the game, make sure everything's set up at the table there, and all the cords are plugged in, we have power, things are turned on, step one, and then making sure we have all of our computers out there and our staff is all there and ready to roll, and talking with teams, seeing what they need as far as stat printouts, and talking with our radio guy, making sure he has everything he needs, making sure Steve's taken care of. And then beyond that, we're just kind of waiting for the game to tip off, and once it tips off, we're kind of just ready to go, and we're statting, doing social media updates, hoping to get some more video stuff out from the live stream this season. So yeah, just a lot of little things that add up, and we're hoping people see it.
Absolutely. That's something that I was talking with Patrick about, off the microphone, was the little things. There's just a bunch of little things to remember. And, my checklist and your checklist, they just keep growing with each game. It's just a thing of, it's this minute thing that I have to do, that I have to remember, or else, maybe we don't have live stats, or maybe we, don't have the printouts, maybe a cord breaks. The thing that people don't understand is that when the game tips off, there's no going back and fixing it. It's live. And so if there's for some reason a stat problem, there's not really a whole lot you can do, right?
Yeah, you just kind of wait for a timeout or something that you hope is long enough for you to open up. I mean, yeah, with stats, there's 3 different programs we need open. Basketball kind of 4 for the stat board. So yeah, if one button isn't pressed or one program isn't opened by mistake, then live stats aren't going, and
the world crumbles.
In a sense, yes, but it's an easy fix. But like you said, you got to just wait for a timeout or some break between plays to minimize some windows and open up the program and press a button or two and hope that fixes it.
Yeah, there's no worse feeling, and I could say this from experience, is game starts and you go to do something and it's just, uh-oh. And that's all you can think, because there's nothing you could do.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing.
Got to fix that.
Yeah. Whoops, forgot to do that. And our whoopsie daisies they tend to be visible, highly visible.
Yeah. At least I'm not handling the stream. That's a whole other realm. I just got SIDs emailing me and saying, hey, is the stream, or is the you got the live stats going?
Yeah, it's always fun to get those emails. Yeah, I forgot about that. Whoops. But anyway, what about so before the game, let's talk about Monday. You come in and you're getting programs ready. You're getting, all of our releases ready. You're getting basically everything that needs to get done that week. You're taking, those first couple days just to line that out, and then doing them throughout the week to get ready for that game. Because one thing that I think people don't recognize is that you're not only doing home games. Like, I just have to do home games, or I shouldn't say have to. I get to do home games. But for you, it's home and away games. And I think that there's some things that, with the release before the game and then the release after the game, like, that's 2 releases for just one game, and you're doing that for both, let's say, basketball, men's and women's basketball, and you're doing that twice during the week, and you're not only just watching the game to get stats, you're watching the game because you're live tweeting the game as well, and all sorts of this fun stuff. What's it like to prepare for that? Let's take an away game now, since we talked about home games for a little bit.
Yeah, so after every game, like you said, write up a recap, put out all the final stuff on social media, and then Monday morning the next week, I'm nominating players for RMAC Player of the Week. I'm finishing up game notes to have for Steve and opposing SIDs, and I guess that's kind of another thing too. All the SIDs in the conference, or even in the nation, I guess, we're all kind of co-workers in our own group. It's not like I'm not a rival with the South Dakota Mines SID or the Chadron State SID. Where on the field there's that rivalry, but as far as the SIDs go, we're all working together and trying to make each other's lives as easy as possible, and sending them rosters or stat files, roster files, all the different things that they need. And the same goes for me. I'll reach out to people and they'll send me everything I need, and everyone's typically really good about that. So then, like you said, there's programs and scheduling social media posts to go out, so I don't wake up one morning and go, oh crap, I forgot to put this post out. Yeah, back to the little things, all these things in the timeline of a to-do list that has to get put out.
I remember when my to-do list could fit like on a regular post-it note. Now it's like I have to carry around an entire 5-subject notebook just to write down my to-do list.
Wheeling a whiteboard around with you.
One of the ones on wheels, just wheeling it down the hallway. But, it's just something that I really wanted to touch on and kind of show respect for the people that do work in the behind-the-scenes realm that may not get the appreciation or have the people that understand exactly what's going on. And, it's just something that I think sports information directors, they don't get the respect they need, because I tried my hand at it. I was interim information director, sports information director, I think right before you were here, and the place almost burned down. So I have nothing but respect for sports information directors. But yeah, that camaraderie that you were talking about, it's something that was great and very noticeable when I took over as interim for a little bit. I basically sent out an email. I was like, hey, just so everyone knows, the sports information department at Black Hills State is going to not be the greatest for a little bit till we get a full-time person here, because I'm partially doing the duties as well. And everyone emailed back and they're like, reach out if we can help in any way. If there's something you need, just, let us know and we understand. And I can't remember who it was, but there's another school that's like, we're somewhat going through the same thing, so we're right there with you. So whatever we can do to help each other, we're going to do that. So it's just been great to see that camaraderie and, the fact that you bring up that rivalry, whether it's South Dakota Mines, Shadron, whoever we're against it, we're not against them on the sports information side. But
no, we're all working together.
Absolutely.
As far as that goes.
Trying to make lives and everything as simple as possible, while also celebrating our student athletes in the way that they deserve. I mean, we have some really good ones here at Black Hills State and across the board, and the RMAC is just loaded with great student athletes. So celebrating them where we can is our goal, and we do it for the student athletes in the end.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, that's Riley Baker. Thank you again for joining us, Riley. It's been great to have you on the mic. I know you're continuously behind the camera or, writing up the web and all that stuff, but it's great to actually be able to put you on the microphone and have people hear you and just kind of share your story.
Well, thanks for having me, Colton. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll be right back with more Inside the Hive. Don't go anywhere.
Your vehicle is the lifeline to work and play. Finding your next upgrade can be complicated and expensive. You shouldn't settle for a vehicle at a random sales lot. Choose a dealer who guides you to a better decision. For over 90 years, the people at Junix and Spearfish have helped countless people like you make better vehicle decisions. Click on the link to see what's available, then schedule a test drive to see what's possible with Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on West Jackson in Spearfish.
All right, and welcome back to Inside the Hive. We're here with Patrick McNeil, the Director of Athletics for Black Hills State University. Patrick, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. So we finished up the fall season. In your opinion, how did that go? As far as our coaching and then also the game day experience that our fans got to experience while they were here.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, we did. We finished up, actually kind of really neat. We finished up with our first All-American in women's cross country in history. Zio finished 21st, 22nd in the country. That was pretty cool. So a great way to really end it. But, for my first year here, really kind of having to, really jump in. Very pleased with the entire season, especially from the game day experience. Learned a ton, learned a lot about our community and our fan base and how much they really love this place, but also learned about all the great things we still have ahead of us that we can do to really grow on it. But I really feel like we made steps forward on that progress. That's what I'm really excited about. From a standpoint of where did we finish, certainly we didn't finish as well as I would have loved to athletically, but what I would say is that those programs are moving in absolutely the right direction. I am thrilled with what Josh Bresky and the football team, where they're going. The pieces are in place. We've had some great meetings postseason to figure out what we need to do to take it to the next level. That's what I get excited about. Volleyball, having conversations with Coach Carmichael, same thing, just trying to kind of get them going. Soccer, I mean, man, they had a great year compared to what they've had. And we were 2 to 3 games, one score, and we're in the playoffs, So I just really like where they're going. Cross country starting to continue to grow. I like the progress, and I like where we're going. So from that standpoint, very happy with it, excited about what we're going to be able to do moving forward with those programs. And then they really set the foundation in some ways for this year for our fall sports.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just night and day difference in some ways, but, some people think that it's about getting those wins right away. It's about getting to the championships right away, and you can't really do that. You need to have that progress first, and that's one thing I was seeing this year myself, and I like that you brought that up. It's about the progress, and the progress looks very promising, so that I can't agree with you more on that. So moving into the winter sports, the winter season now, what are some of the things that excites you? You were talking about some of the fan experience exciting you, but what, as far as you've seen in our basketball teams, what have you seen in our track teams that really excites you about this winter?
Yeah, I think, when we look at the basketball programs, our women, they have a really hard-working group of young women. And they're going to play all the time. That's a group that just doesn't give up. However, they're young. They lost a couple really key pieces from last year from a very successful team. So it's going to take them a little bit of time. But, in having conversations with Coach Norrie, I really liked what he said is that we're going to be in every game, but we're going to be better as we go at the end of the year. And why is that? It's progress. It's taking some freshmen and young players that haven't played a lot, and giving them that time to really acclimate. So you look at even this past weekend, had a great game at Wayne State, played really well there, and then we struggled a little bit at times against a really good Sioux Falls team. So it gives us that opportunity to kind of grow, and we're going to have some of those, but I really like where they're going. I've been fortunate enough to watch the men's team a couple of times. I actually was at Northern this weekend, and quite honestly, we should be 4-0, and we should be ranked. They have a really talented team. And I really like what Coach Thompson's doing. I like his mentality. I like how he coaches. I like the mentality of our young men. We're going to be there. And if we can compete with those two teams, they're top of the, Northern Sun. We're going to be able to compete in our, and as Coach said, hey, those two could be competing for the RMAC championship. And so I really like where they're going. I really like the group of young men. It's going to be an exciting season to watch our men's and women's basketball teams. The track and field, it's been a successful program. Looking forward to some more. We've got a couple of student athletes that I think can really make some moves this year, coming back from some things, both in the track and the field side of it. So excited to see them. We'll get going here December 3rd and 4th with indoor track here on campus at the field house, and then we also have men's and women's basketball on the 3rd and 4th. Those will really be the first home matches. So great start to the winter season. Men's women's basketball will be going again on the 18th, 19th, and then January and February will be full bore, with indoor track and field, men's women's basketball.
Perfect. It's just going to be great to have some home events. It's been a nice break for us, here working the events, just to have a weekend or two. But really, I'm excited to get back into the games and get back into some home events, and especially with the quality of teams that we have here. It's just been so visible with all of the quality athletes we have here, the student athletes, and it's great to be teaching as well, because I get to see them in a student setting, and then I get to see them in an athletic setting. And it's just amazing the mentality that they have, just how great of people they are. I just can't celebrate them enough. So it's going to be great to see them in action here at home. Starting December 3rd and 4th, we're going to have, like you said, both basketball. We're going to have track and field. It's just going to be something else. So, Patrick, thank you for joining us. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, just very quickly, I think with the 3rd and 4th, certainly Friday night, we're going to do the unveiling of the banners for men's and women's basketball. So hopefully you'll come out. We are going to kind of have some holiday themes around that game. So wear your ugly sweater. Maybe get a chance to win a few things. We're going to have an ugly sweater contest. And then on Saturday, December 4th, our track teams will be competing pretty much from 9 until probably about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then our men and our women will tip off at 4 for the women and 6 for the men. But we're actually going to do a Native American Recognition Day. So it's going to be really kind of neat. We're going to do a lot of different things about recognizing Native Americans and their culture. We have several of our student athletes that are Native Americans, so we're excited about doing that. But we're really excited about kicking that off, or tipping it off really, and then kind of working into our end of December and January. But there's going to be a lot of events going on that I think will just add to the fact that you're going to be able to watch some really good student athletes compete.
Perfect. So what's your ugly sweater? What's it going to look like?
I haven't figured it out yet, and I'm not going to tell anybody until they see it. So,
yikes. So yes, bring your best ugly sweater.
Yep.
I guess is the key, because you never know what Patrick's going to pull out of his closet. So this might be the ugliest sweater of all.
Might be. Come out and be festive.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be right back after this.
While you're visiting Spearfish, stop into Lucky's 13 for half-price drinks and appetizers every weekday from 4:30 to 6. Need an exciting venue to host your next event? Look no further than our party room. Unwind at Lucky's 13, just off exit 14 in Spearfish.
And welcome back to Inside the Hive. Right now I'm sitting with head coach for the men's basketball team, Coach Ryan Thompson. Coach, how you doing?
Doing all right. How are you, Colton?
Doing well. So you just got back from a nice road trip across to the eastern side of the state. How did that go for you?
Well, not the results we wanted, going 0-2, but really proud of our team. I think we played better basketball this weekend than last. We played two, very, very high quality teams in Augustana and Northern State. In my opinion, I think those are two teams that are top 25 teams in the nation, and teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament and have a chance to make a run. So, it was a great experience for us to get those type of games early in the year. We learned a lot about our team, and in both games we had our chances to win, and so a lot of learning opportunities for us to take things from the film and apply them to hopefully our games here moving forward.
So what was it like playing Augustana? They're ranked number 20 in the nation right now. So going into that, knowing that they're ranked, knowing that they're going to be a very formidable opponent, what does it mean to play someone that well in the preseason, or not preseason, but before we get into conference play, to have that kind of competition to play against?
Yeah, I think for our coaching staff, we just viewed it as another game, and just approach every game, and non-conference and conference the same. I think for our guys, they get a little excited, when the level of competition is that high. I think it's a big deal for them to play ranked teams, or to play teams that people assume is going to be a NCAA tournament type team. So I think our guys were really excited, and they were fired up, and to be honest, really didn't start that Augustana game well. Got off to a poor start, and then we kind of settled in and played really good basketball, and then in both games there was things we could have done down the stretch, to finish off those games that we just didn't do, and again that comes back to some learning opportunities for us moving forward.
So this was the East-West Challenge, which was hosted by Northern State and Aberdeen. In that second game, was there kind of a noticeable hometown advantage for Northern?
Well, I'm going to plead the fifth on that. And I think, part of playing on the road is there's always that dynamic. And certainly there are some calls that we probably felt could have went a different way. But at the end of the day, we had opportunities to win that game and didn't capitalize on those opportunities. And so we lose a close game, and that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah, those games tend to happen, but hopefully fewer than most. Moving into this week, we have MSU Billings, the Battle of the Jackets, I guess you can call it. What are you preparing for them?
Well, it's a quick turnaround, so we really try to focus a lot on, improving ourselves. And, so our first focus is just really studying the film from last weekend against Augustana and Northern State, watching film as a group, identifying some areas that we need to improve on and doing that first. And so that's kind of what we did Sunday and Monday. And then, today's our one-day prep on Billings. And so we've, our assistants have done a great job of watching a ton of film. And then, I've started to watch some film yesterday and starting to get very familiar with them. They're going to be an athletic team. They have a lot of talented guards that we have to, contain and make them make really difficult shots. I think there's some things we can do offensively to take advantage of some of their weaknesses. But it's going to come down to us playing good basketball. I think if we're sharp and we play really intense on the defensive end and do our thing and share the ball offensively, I think we'll have a great chance.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will sometimes look at just the record as of right now. Because right now, the MSU Billing Jackets are 1-3. But you can't really base a team off that right now. Is that correct? Absolutely
correct. I think, and you look across our conference, there's a lot of teams that are playing a bunch of NAI schools or Bible schools that aren't even affiliated with NAI, and so going 4-0 against teams like that really, doesn't really mean a whole lot. And so with MSU Billings, they've played 4 Division IIs. Cal State San Marcos is a good team. They played twice, and then Minot State's a really good team that they lost to recently. So they've played good competition, and so that certainly plays a big role in their record.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you for your time. It was a nice short interview, and we wish you the best of luck. But first, before we let you go, I do want to kind of talk about coming up to the home games. This is our first home game stretch. This is kind of rare for us. Usually we've had a home game or two by now, but we don't have one till December 3rd and 4th. I guess, are the fellas looking forward to that? Are they excited to be at home?
Yeah, no question. It's going to be a fun weekend and opening conference play, doing it at home after not being home the entire non-conference schedule. Our guys will be excited. We're also bringing back our championship team from 2 years ago that won the RMAC regular season and doing kind of honoring that group. So it's going to be a weekend we're really looking forward to, and hopefully we get a great turnout. I know there's a lot of people that are excited about our team as well as our women's team, and sometimes the longer you wait, the sweeter it is when it comes. So hopefully we'll have a great turnout December 3rd and 4th.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you, Coach, and we'll be right back right after this.
When you're looking for great deals on new and pre-owned vehicles, look no further than White's Queen City Motors in Spearfish. We're the #1 certified pre-owned dealer in the state of South Dakota, and White's Queen City Motors was voted the #1 car dealership of the Black Hills. Our service department can take care of all makes and models, and we offer a price match guarantee on tires for your vehicle. At White's Queen City Motors, our main attraction is customer satisfaction. Call us today or stop in at White's Queen City Motors in Spearfish.
And that'll do it from Inside the Hive. Make sure to join us next week as we start talking track and field, and we will also have our first home events for track and field and men's and women's basketball with the Yellow Jacket Holiday Open starting, and also having men's and women's basketball against Western and Fort Lewis. Be sure to check your calendars and make sure to get your tickets. From all of us here at Inside the Hive and Black Hills State University Athletics, go Yellow Jackets.
This has been a Black Hills State University Athletics production. Fear this sting.